One thing I'm really good at is making a big mess. The question is, which oil spill cleanup product is the best? Well, let's find out. We'll test the maximum oil absorption for both pads and granules. Then we'll see which product does the best job of lifting oil off the floor. Then we'll see if cat litter can actually outperform oil absorbent products. At a price of $14 for 5.4 quarts is this Spill Hero brand. They claim it's more absorbent than competitors' larger sizes. Leave surface dry and residue free. Non-toxic and environmentally friendly. Quick absorption for fast cleanup. And the Spill Hero is made in USA. Some of these products claim to weigh a lot less than clay absorbent. So let's weigh approximately 1 cup of Spill Hero. I'll zero the weight scale with an empty cup on the scale. 1 cup of the Spill Hero is very light at only 37.35 grams. In the first test, let's see how much used motor oil each of the products can absorb. I'll first pour the Spill Hero oil absorbent onto the table, and then I'll use a drywall taping knife to reposition the absorbent until the absorbent is completely saturated. And the Spill Hero made easy work of the first half cup of oil. So I'll just keep adding more oil. And the Spill Hero is definitely maxed out. I've zeroed the weight scale. The cup of Spill Hero weighs 37.35 grams, and now the fully saturated Spill Hero weighs 130. So that's 92.65 grams, which is pretty good. At a price of $19 for 5 liters is this Flashdry brand. 100% organic, environmentally friendly. They claim that it's more effective than clay litter. They claim it's 5 to 7 times more absorbent than clay. Dust-free and non-toxic. And the Flashdry is made in USA. And the Flashdry weighs 47.79 grams. And the Flashdry looks a lot like coffee grounds, but it's doing a great job of absorbing the oil. And the Flashdry is hungry for even more oil. And the Flashdry started off at 47.49 grams, and now it weighs 143. That's 95.51 grams, or about 3 grams better than the Spill Hero. At a price of $25 for 5 quarts is this Zorbent brand. They claim it's 16 times more absorbent than other powders. They claim it's the safest and fastest spill absorbent powder ever. No residue, no dust or odor. And the Zorbent is made in USA. And it's 31.78 grams for the Zorbent. And the Zorbent has a very fine consistency and made very easy work of the first half cup of oil. And the Zorbent is finally finished at 136 grams, or just over 104 grams of oil absorption to take the lead from the Flashdry. At a price of $27 is this CoCo Cleaner Pro. It's 100% organic. They claim it absorbs 9 times more. For garage floors, it locks in leaked oil, transmission fluids, and coolants. It's also designed to be used in the kitchen on all types of things, including cooking oils, wine, sauces, and juices. Made in USA. And the CoCo Cleaner Pro is the lightest yet at 29.33 grams. And the CoCo Cleaner Pro is working like a pro and made very easy work of the first half cup of oil. And I just about added the entire cup of oil, and the CoCo Cleaner is finally saturated. And the CoCo Cleaner absorbed 128.67 grams of oil to take the lead from the Zorbent. Very impressive! At a price of $41 is this Zep brand. They claim it's 15 times more absorbent than clay. Includes 6 3-pound bags. They claim that this 3-pound bag replaces 45 pounds of traditional clay absorbent. It's supposed to absorb and retain oils, coolants, solvents, and water. And the Zep is made in USA. And the Zep weighs 40.55 grams. And the Zep looks a lot like the Spill Hero and is doing a great job of absorbing the oil. While the Zep is performing well, it doesn't look to be doing nearly as well as the CoCo Cleaner Pro. And the Zep now weighs 137 grams, which works out to 96.45 grams of absorbed motor oil. At a price of $43 is this Oil-Dri brand. It's supposed to work with oil, grease, hydraulic fluid, water, and other liquid spills. Virtually dust-free, lower airborne contamination. Low density means more scoops per pound saves money. They claim it won't break down and turn into mud. And the Oil-Dri is made in USA. And the Oil-Dri is by far the heaviest yet at 171.36 grams. And the Oil-Dri weighs more than 3 times as much as the previous brands, and it doesn't seem to be absorbing the oil very well. And the Oil-Dri is completely saturated, and it now weighs 212 grams. That works out to only 40.65 grams of absorption to move into last place. At a price of $59 for 22 pounds of product is this Pig brand. It's designed to soak up the liquid the moment they touch the spill. They claim it has 47% recycled content, which is a byproduct of the paper making process. Made in USA. And it's 69.39 grams for the Pig. And the Pig seems to be doing an excellent job of absorbing the oil. As you'd expect from a pig, it wants more oil. And the pig has been fed and is completely full at 169 grams. And the pig moves into third place at 99.61 grams. At a price of $21 is this Dr. Elsie's cat litter. The question is, will this cat litter perform just as well as these oil-absorbent products? This bag of cat litter weighs 40 pounds, so that works out to 53 cents per pound. They claim it's 99% dust-free. And the cat litter is made in USA. And the cat litter is by far the heaviest yet at 306 grams. The cat litter is half the price of Oil-Dri, but doesn't work as well or even better. And the cat litter is definitely not absorbing oil as well as the other brands. The cat litter started off at 306 grams and it now weighs 365. So that's 59 grams of oil absorption. For the spill absorbers that come in the form of a powder or a granule, the CoCo Cleaner Pro finished in first place at 128.67 grams. At a price of $10 is this Oil-Eater absorbent pad. Includes 6 15 by 18 inch pads. It's designed to absorb oil, coolant, grease, gasoline, and other liquids. And the Oil-Eater is made in USA. A 10 by 12 inch section of the Oil-Eater weighs 12.38 grams. To test the max absorption of the pads, let's dip them in used motor oil until they're completely saturated. Let's go ahead and allow the excess oil to drain off the absorbent pad for 2.5 minutes. And the gray Oil-Eater started off at just over 12 grams and it now weighs 102 grams. That works out to 89.62 grams of oil absorption. At a price of $12 for a 6-pack is this Oil-Eater white absorbent pad. Includes 6 15 by 18 pads. It's supposed to absorb oil and repel water. And the Oil-Eater is made in USA. And the Oil-Eater white weighs 18.53 grams. And the Oil-Eater white seems to be far more absorbent than the gray pad. And the Oil-Eater white performed quite a bit better than the gray pad, weighing 206 grams. That works out to 187.47 grams of oil absorption. At a price of $16 is this BRITE brand. It's a 5-pack of 15 by 19 inch pads. It's supposed to absorb 15 times its weight in oil. It absorbs oil and fuel and is supposed to repel water. And a BRITE is made in USA. And it's 29.57 grams for the BRITE. And a BRITE weighs about 50% more than the Oil-Eater white and it's really soaking up a lot of oil. And a BRITE just moved into the lead at 282 grams or 252 grams of oil absorption. At a price of $25 for 50 pads is this Aain brand. The absorbent pads or mats are 20 inches by 15. They're supposed to quickly absorb leaks, spills, and overspray. It absorbs oil and repels water. And the Aain pads are made in China. And the Aain weighs 20.74 grams. And the Aain weighs quite a bit less than the BRITE, and weight seems to be a big factor in this test. And the Aain performed well at 222 grams or just over 201 grams of oil absorption. At a price of $32 for 100 pads is this Okllen brand. The pads are 10 inches by 13. Made with 100% polypropylene with 3-layer structure and dimpled surface design. They claim that these absorbent pads can be used as a rag to clean tools, parts, and messes. And the Okllen pads are made in China. And the Okllen's very light at only 16.14 grams. And the Okllen weighs less than the Aain and it doesn't seem to be absorbing nearly as much oil. And the Okllen ran out of steam at 183 grams or 166.86 grams of absorbed oil. At a price of $43 for 100 pads is this Spilfyter brand. The gray pads are 13 by 10 inches. They're supposed to soak up all liquids. The total absorbent capacity for the 100 pack is supposed to be 12 gallons. And the Spilfyter is made in USA. And it's 25.33 grams for the Spilfyter. And the Spilfyter is a lot heavier and thicker than the Okllen. And the completely saturated Spilfyter now weighs 305 grams or almost 280 grams of oil absorption to move into the lead. At a price of $43 for 20 mats is this Pig brand. And the mats are 15 by 20 inches. The total absorbency for a 20 count is supposed to be 4.4 gallons. It won't rip, tear, or even fray when saturated. And the Pig mats are made in USA. And the name Pig seems to fit at 31.41 grams. And the name Pig seems to fit as this pig is thirsty. And this pig has a full belly and weighs 288 grams. That's good enough to move into second place behind the Spilfyter at almost 257 grams of oil. At a price of $50 for 100 pads is this Flashdry brand. The size of the pads is 17.5 by 13.5 inches. They claim that their pads are tear resistant. It absorbs oil and repels water. These pads are designed to stay afloat. And the Flashdry is very light at just over 15 grams. And the Flashdry is very lightweight compared to most of the other pads. And the completely saturated Flashdry pad now weighs 142 grams, which works out to 126.92 grams of oil absorption. So the Spilfyter finished in first place at almost 280 grams. Pig finished in second place at 256.59 and BRITE 252.43 grams of oil absorption. A disclaimer on the chart. Several assumptions and extrapolations went into the math to avoid actually absorbing many gallons of oil. If it's all about value, the Aain can absorb a quart of oil for around 87 cents. However, the Aain is sold in bulk, making it a better value than the Oil-Eater and BRITE products, which are not sold in bulk. The Spilfyter is also sold in bulk and can absorb a quart of oil for around $1.21. When it comes to granules or powders, the ZEP, which is sold in bulk, can absorb 1 quart of oil for about $1.79. The CoCo cleaner will cost around $2.62 to absorb a quart of oil. Unless you're able to buy some really affordable kitty litter, there are some more cost-efficient options for absorbing oil spills. If you're working on a car part on top of a bench, an oil absorbent pad can really contain liquids and grease. So let's see which absorbent pad is the most resistant to rips and tears. I'll use a scale to measure the force it takes to tear through the pads both dry and then wet. The scale doesn't measure grams, but it does measure ounces. And the Oil-Eater Gray tore at only 51 ounces or just over 3 pounds of force. I'll go ahead and saturate part of the pad with oil and we'll see if it has any impact on strength. And the wet Oil-Eater tore at only 40 ounces. And the Oil-Eater White is a little bit heavier than the Oil-Eater Gray. The extra weight didn't help too much at only 53 ounces. And the wet Oil-Eater pad held onto most of its strength at 49 ounces. And the BRITE is a lot heavier pad than the Oil-Eater and it's a lot stronger at 174 ounces. And the saturated BRITE pad is down 28 ounces down to 146. And the Aain weighs quite a bit less than the BRITE, and it tore at 123 ounces. And the saturated Aain pad tore at 104 ounces. And the Okllen performed just about as well as the BRITE at 168 ounces. And the saturated Okllen lost almost 30 ounces of strength at 139. And the Spilfyter is the strongest yet at 205 ounces or almost 13 pounds. And the saturated Spilfyter lost a lot of fight at only 105 ounces. And the Pig is by far the strongest yet at 262 ounces, which is just over 16 pounds. And the Pig doesn't mind being wet at 260 ounces or just 2 ounces less. And the Flashdry is a pretty lightweight pad, and it tore at only 119 ounces. And the wet Flashdry pad lost 25 ounces of strength at 94. The Pig is by far the strongest Zorbent pad at 262 ounces. Spilfyter finished in second at 205 and BRITE 174 ounces. Once the absorbent pads became wet, the Pig remained the strongest absorbent pad at 260 ounces. BRITE finished in a distant second at 146 ounces. Let's see which absorbent pad does the best job of lifting oil off the concrete. I'll add 1 tablespoon of oil for each absorbent pad. And the pads have had a minute to absorb as much oil as possible. Finishing in 8th place is the Oil-Dri. Unfortunately, the Oil-Dri didn't eat nearly as much oil as some of the other brands. Finishing in 7th place is the Okllen, which left behind quite a bit of oil. And the Pig just wasn't very hungry this time and finished in 6th place. And the Oil-Dri White absorbed quite a bit more oil than the Pig and finished in 5th place. And the Spilfyter did a pretty good job and finished in 4th place. It was a very close race between the Spilfyter and the BRITE, but the BRITE finished in 3rd place. Finishing in 2nd place is the Aain pad, which did a great job of absorbing oil. And the Flashdry definitely did the best job and earned a 1st place finish. So 2 of the top 3 pads were white pads. Let's go and repeat this test for products that came in the form of powder or granule. Just like with the pads, the products will have 1 minute to do as much work as possible without any assistance from me. And 1 minute has passed, so I'll go ahead and use a shop vac to lift away the absorbents. And some of these products definitely performed a lot better than others. However, the leftover granules are making it a little bit difficult to determine the best of the best. And 2 of the products tied for 7th place, which includes the Oil-Dri and the kitty litter. Finishing in 6th place is the Pig. And the Flashdry did a pretty good job finishing in 5th place. It appears that the CoCo Cleaner Pro finished in 4th place, but we'll know more in a minute. And it's a 3rd place finish for the Zep. And the Spill Hero and the Zorbent tied for 1st place based upon looks. I attempted to use paper towels to wipe up the oil and then weigh the paper towels to calculate the amount of oil absorbed into the paper towel. However, this wasn't an accurate way to measure performance since the products with very fine absorbent became trapped in the paper towel. Attempting to wipe away the granules would only result in wiping away some of the oil and invalidating the results. However, let's visually inspect the paper towels to compare the amount of oil collected. And the CoCo Cleaner definitely did the best job with very little oil residue on the paper towel. And the Spill Hero, Zorbent, and Zep appear to be in a 3-way tie for 2nd place. And the Flashdry left behind a lot of solids and looks to have finished in 5th place. The Pig does have a lot of solids on the towel, but just looking at oil accumulation, the Pig finished in 6th place. Once again, the Oil-Dri and the cat litter appear to be in a 2-way tie for 7th place. If you're trying to wipe up a mess on a concrete floor, abrasion resistance is another factor to consider. I'll use a concrete paver in this tester to compare performance. The 2-finger tester articulates and has 5 pounds of weight on top. The 2 fingers on the tester have a total of 4.4 pounds on them, which works out to 2.2 pounds per finger. I'll keep the paver coated in a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and distilled water. And the Oil-Dri began experiencing visible damage on the 1st pass. And it's over for the Oil-Dri on the 3rd pass, and there's now an area that's completely worn through. And the Oil-Dri White began wearing through the pad on the 2nd pass. And the Oil-Dri White performed better than the gray pad and experienced wear through on the 6th pass. And the BRITE is holding up a lot better than the Oil-Dri Gray and White. And the BRITE's first layer began to tear on the 11th pass. And the BRITE is a very thick and durable pad that can handle a lot of abrasion. The Oil-Dri White only made it to 6 passes, and we're now over 30 passes with the BRITE. And the BRITE is finally finished at a very impressive 50 passes across the paver. And the Aain is definitely not as durable as the BRITE, and the first layer is already torn on the 2nd pass. However, the Aain pad is thicker than the Oil-Dri, but not as thick as the BRITE. And the test is finished for the Aain on the 9th pass. And the Okllen is also a pretty lightweight pad, and the first layer is already worn through on the 2nd pass. And the Okllen is finished on the 6th pass. The first layer of the Spilfyter pad is already torn on the 3rd pass, but this is a very thick pad and should last quite a while. And the Spilfyter does weigh less than the BRITE by about 5 grams, and that can make a huge difference. And the Spilfyter made it to 27 passes, which is good enough to move into 2nd place behind the BRITE. And the first layer of the Pig pad is already torn on the 2nd pass, but this is the heaviest pad in the lineup. And the Pig seems to have many layers to it, and this is going to take some time and perseverance. And the Pig just made it to 30 passes, and there's still a lot of pad left. So the Pig is finally finished at 55 passes to take the lead from the BRITE. And the Flashdry is a very thin pad, and the first layer has worn through on the 3rd pass. For a thin pad, the Flashdry is holding up very well. And the Flashdry is finished in 15 passes. So the Pig came out on top at 55 passes. BRITE finished in second at 50, and Spilfyter third at 27. I've made some pretty big messes in the past with antifreeze spills. So let's test the max absorption of 50-50 antifreeze in water. Just like we did with the max oil absorption test, let's allow the excess antifreeze to drain off the pad for 2.5 minutes. And the Oil-Dri Gray had 2.5 minutes for the excess antifreeze to drain away, and it now weighs a total of 92 grams. That works out to 79.62 grams of water and antifreeze. And the Oil-Dri White is not supposed to absorb water, but what about antifreeze? And the Oil-Dri White is definitely not too motivated to soak up the antifreeze. And 48 grams of total weight works out to just under 30 grams of antifreeze. And the BRITE is also trying to float on top of the antifreeze just like the Oil-Dri White. And the BRITE weighs almost 30 grams dry, and it now weighs 59 grams. So the BRITE performed about the same as the Oil-Dri White at just under 30 grams of antifreeze. And the Aain is also trying to avoid antifreeze just like the other two white pads. And the 2.5 minute drain time is up, and the Aain weighs 44 grams, which works out to only 23.26 grams of antifreeze. And the Okllen seems a little more thirsty for the water antifreeze mix. And it's been 2.5 minutes for the excess antifreeze to drain off, and 150 grams of total weight works out to 133.86 grams of absorbed antifreeze, the best yet. And the Spilfyter is definitely highly motivated to soak up the antifreeze. And the Spilfyter is definitely saturated. 224 grams or just about 200 grams of antifreeze is good enough for the Spilfyter to move into the lead. And the pig did the best for oil absorption, and the pig is doing really well on soaking up the antifreeze. And the pig really hogged out on the antifreeze at 292 grams of total weight or over 260 grams of absorbed antifreeze. Very impressive. Just like the other white pads, the Flashdry is not designed to absorb water and is trying to float. And the Flashdry really struggled in this test at 37 grams or just under 22 grams of antifreeze. So the pig finished in first place at 260.59 grams. Spilfyter finished in second place at 198.67 and Okllen third at just under 134 grams. The top three pads are all gray. Let's compare the performance of the powders or granules on the antifreeze water mix. And the Spill Hero is doing a great job of absorbing the antifreeze. And the Spill Hero is completely maxed out and now weighs 143 grams, which works out to just over 105 grams of antifreeze. And the Flashdry outperformed the Spill Hero for absorbing motor oil, and it once again outperformed the Spill Hero. And 189 grams of total weight works out to just over 141 grams of antifreeze and water. And the Zorbent performed very well at absorbing oil and is doing a great job with the antifreeze. And 173 grams works out to very close to the same as the Flashdry at just over 141 grams. And the CoCo Cleaner Pro ran circles around the other loose absorbent products for oil and is doing a great job once again. And the CoCo Cleaner Pro moves into the lead at 267 grams or 237.67 grams of antifreeze and water. And the Zep performed very well in motor oil and is once again doing a great job of absorbing antifreeze. And 187 grams works out to just over 146 grams to move into second place behind the CoCo Cleaner Pro. And the Oil-Dri appears to be a clay-based product, and the low viscosity water and antifreeze is really helping the Oil-Dri. And 255 grams of total weight works out to just under 84 grams of antifreeze. And the pig did a great job of absorbing motor oil and is doing a great job on the antifreeze. And the pig made it to 204 grams or 134.61 grams of antifreeze. And the cat litter is designed for low viscosity fluids and is doing a much better job at absorbing the antifreeze compared to the oil. And the cat litter did a great job at 448 grams or 142 grams of antifreeze. So the CoCo Cleaner Pro once again finished in first place at 237.67 grams. Zep finished in a distant second at 146.45 grams. So which oil absorbent granule is best? The products are organized by average finish or ranking, and the CoCo Cleaner Pro had the best average finish of 1.8. Zorbent finished in second place with an average finish of 2.5. Zep finished in third place with an average of 2.8. Considering price and performance, I would definitely go with the CoCo Cleaner Pro. For the oil absorbent pads, the pig had the best average ranking or finish of 2. The Spilfyter finished in second place with an average finish of 2.7. Considering price and performance, if it's all about value, I'd definitely go with the Spilfyter. It's a terrific pad and it comes at a reasonable price. All the reviews in this channel, including this one, are viewer suggested. So if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Please take care and look forward to next time.